What happens if you lose, Nick?
Who the hell is Aquaman?
I get Fruity Pebbles, Cocoa Pebbles, I get sausage biscuits. Maybe you guys will see a little footage of that later on because we got some good stuff.
Throw up the deuces. There you go, baby.
Hey, boys and girls, good afternoon. Welcome to Cape Side. Christopher James. It is what's today? It's Tuesday. Yeah, it's Tuesday afternoon. I figured why not? Let's do a little show. Let's have us a little bit of fun in the daytime. Normally I do the nighttime thing, but I decided, daytime, and I've got a couple of great guests lined up. Just want to real quick touch base on. I stand by my decision that Bobby Green beat Javier Fiziev the other night. So that's it. I just wanted to say that because I felt like he won. I felt like he got screwed over by a judge, and the judge that scored it 30-27 for Fiziev should never, ever, ever get to judge an event again because that was ridiculous. I don't have to punch that guy in the fucking mouth. But anyway, so we got a great show tonight, man. This afternoon, excuse me. See, I'm so used to saying nighttime. I just get confused. But we are ready to roll this thing out for you. So we're going to get on right now. I'm being joined by my first guest. I've had the pleasure of announcing his name at multiple events. Icon Fighting Federation 1. He's fought with us at Island Fights. He's fought at Combat Night. He was a contestant on Dana White's Contender Series. And I tell you, man, he just signed a huge deal. I'm going to tell you about the deal in a minute. But he is absolutely an awesome guy. He does great work in his community. He and his family are part of the Volusia Combat Sports Syndicate, which is the joining of Dark Wolf MMA and Pete White Boxing and MMA. And they've been killing it, dude. And, there's a lot of gyms out there we know in Florida. There's ATT, there's MMA Masters, there's Fusion. And a lot of people don't know about this Volusia Combat Sports group yet. But let me tell you something. They're doing big things. There's going to be a lot of big names coming out of there, and they're going to become the talk of the MMA training community because they're producing winners. They're producing hardcore, dedicated mixed martial artists, and we're going to talk to one of them right now. He's probably the face of the team at this point, and deservedly so. He landed this badass submission on an Island Fight show, the Banana Split. I still, to this day, can't believe that I got to see that thing, but we might see more of it as he makes his transition to his new home. So let me bring him in right now. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to Cage Talk Christopher James, my man, Christian Hollywood Lohsen. Christian, what's up, baby?
How goes it, Chris?
Oh, same shit, smaller shovel. Happy to be alive today. Blessed to be alive today. So what about you? How are you today?
Doing all right. Typical weight cut stuff. Just
yeah, I know.
Trying not to eat everything in the kitchen.
I still think they should, we need to get you an agent outside of first round. Well, actually, they could probably get it done. We need to get you cast as Batman in a movie. I still remember seeing you in a tuxedo, dude. You got the Batman look, dude. So you could play Batman, be all the business guy and then fuck people up, dude, because you got the physical ability to do it. So I'm going to nominate you to be cast as the next Batman. I had to throw that out there. So life for you since the last time we really spoke on the show. Let's see. I think the last time you were on the show, you were already married. So you're married for a little while now. So how's the marriage? How's the wife? How's that whole part of your life going?
It's going good. Just enjoying life one step at a time. Not trying to be too busy. I think since the last time we talked, she got a new job and it's been really nice. Just she's working closer to home, not having to commute as much. And we're just living in the same place, doing the same stuff, just waiting for new opportunities.
So I ran into you the other night at XFN, Extreme Fighting Nation. You were there cornering a couple of your teammates. And it was the first time I think I've ever seen you without your wife, like ever, which is weird. It was so weird to me. You guys said you was home taking care of the kids, which are the dogs. So I'm going to ask the question, since you mentioned kids that night, are we going to see any little Lohsens coming up in the near future? Because I can imagine the kid's going to be born right into a gi and roll right out to the gym.
We'll see. Taking things one step at a time. We want to do a little more traveling, do a little more of the stuff you can't really do when you're in the early stages of having kids.
You ain't shit, bro.
get a little more financially secure before diving into that.
I love that. I love the attitude about it. And not trying to put pressure on you or put you on the spot when I asked that. I just, I like people in love, and I like to see their families grow and everything. Like I'm watching like today all the pictures of kids going to school. Like Alex's kid Odin is going to pre-VK.
Yeah, I saw that.
VPK, and I'm going, how the fuck is this going on already? Like I remember when this kid was born. Mitchell's and Brandy's son, Caden, is in kindergarten. I'm just good. And I remember when these kids were born, it was like, oh my God, which makes me feel like an old son of a bitch. So by the way, I want to shout out my potential sponsor. I keep bringing them up on the show, Liquid Death Mountain Water. I love this shit. It's the best water I've honestly ever drank. I'm not just saying that because of trying to get them to sponsor me, but it really is. It's crisp, it's clean, it doesn't taste like tin can. And the motto down here, you can't see it on the camera, it says, "Murder your thirst." I fucking love it. People see me buy this and still go, "Man, is that good beer?" And I'm like, dude, it's water, bro. Relax. But anyway, you, my friend, after all the work you've been doing all the years, everybody thought your final destination was going to be the UFC, especially after you did a shot of the Contender Series. Didn't go your way, but they still, there's a lot of people that haven't gotten the thing on Contender Series and still got the UFC call. I know you had a fight recently, got canceled at Combat Night. Your opponent, didn't show up or something. So I know you were chomping at the bit. And then all of a sudden, there's an announcement I see. And Christian has a new home. Christian, for you guys that don't know, is now part of PFL, Pro Fight League. The guys that do the $1 million tournaments. Christian is fighting in, not this weekend, but next week.
Thursday.
Next Thursday. And you've signed a 2-year deal, if my understanding is correct, and you're in the tournament next year already.
I don't know about that. I know I'm signed till January 2023.
Okay, so you're going to be in the tournament. If they sign you to a 2023 deal, then I'm guessing because that's what they do. They do the tournament. So, and you're still at lightweight, I'm guessing, yes?
Yeah, still lightweight.
Still at lightweight. So, how did this all come about, dude? Because I'll be honest, for me, this came out of left field. And this is a premier organization. They're on ESPN. Big exposure for you and your game. And, guys there, are going to be really overwhelmed with your talent when you step in with them and you start putting on that great. I mean, you have great hand and you have good striking. But where you really shine is that ground game, dude. I've seen you do stuff in fights. I've seen some of your training footage. To me, you're a phenom. That's just it. Growing up with jiu-jitsu, with your parents, everything, you just really like a fish to water it is for you. That's how I see it. So tell us how you got to PFL, though. Who put it together? How excited were you when you got the call that you were getting the contract? I mean, I know there's so much to tell. So take it away.
Yeah, so this has been a weird year. Starting in about February, I pretty much had a matchup each month of the year, and not one has happened. Just sometimes people pulled out, sometimes an injury would happen for someone else, or an event would get moved, or something would happen, and no fights worked out this year. And then I thought I finally was going to have one last minute for Combat Night, and the dude ended up trying to fight the commission people backstage before the fight. Did
you see that actually happen?
No, I was actually watching a friend of mine fight, and someone just came up and tapped me on the shoulder, was like, "Hey, your fight's not on. Like, your fight's done. It's not happening." They're like, he just got kicked out.
Wow.
And then shortly after that, yeah, that was a first for me. Shortly after that, First Round Management was hitting me up, saying, "Big opportunity if you want it. Like, get on PFL, fight August 19th. They were like, "Can you make the weight? Are you ready?" And I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." And then it went into further discussions there if I wanted to single fight or if I wanted to try to make it more than that. And just ended up going and deciding to sign.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Like I said, if they sign you for all the way through 2023, you're definitely going to be included in the 2022 tournament. I mean, that's the only reason to bring guys in. That's why they bring guys in. So you are now, in this whole thing, dude. Next year at this time, you might be starting. Well, you will be starting. Well, actually, no, you might be. What month is this? Yeah, no, I don't remember.
August.
It's August. So yeah. So next month at this time, you could be in the midst of, your journey to $1 million at the end of the season, dude. Have you thought about that, dude? Because I mean, I know this is probably going to be this right now. I guess this is probably the biggest contract you've signed since you started fighting. So this is going to be the most money you've made as a fighter. But have you thought about that? Like, holy shit, man! Next year, next December, I could be a fucking millionaire.
Yeah, I mean, that's the goal. That's absolutely the goal. And it's crazy to think about, but it's a long journey through a year to try to get it to happen.
Yeah.
There's some talent definitely in PFL.
Yeah, no doubt. There's a lot of talented guys there in PFL. I mean, so it's not like, and that's why I really dig this signing for you, because you are, and again, when I say this, for you guys watching, I want you guys to understand that I'm not saying this because I've known Christian and I've announced them. I've watched Christian fight, and my professional evaluation is this guy is fully talented, well-rounded. He's definitely worthy of being in this tournament because he has the skill set. Like I said, he can do everything inside the cage. He can do things inside the cage that others can't do. So this is definitely worth it. I mean, and if you were to sign with the UFC this year, by this time next year, you might have had 3 fights and you might have made, with bonuses. Let's say you did 3 fights in the UFC, you bonused every time. And, so that's 150 grand and you won your fights. So you might make 250 grand over 3 or 4 fights in the UFC. At the end of next year, if you do 4, I believe it ends up being 5 fights and you win, you're talking like $1.3 million after fight pay and stipends and all that stuff. And wow, what a dramatic difference. Even though the letters are different, the championships there are fully respected by the MMA community, and those paychecks, bro, everybody respecting that paycheck. So, people could say, oh, well, it's not the UFC. Well, okay, you stay over there and do that. And you make, $100,000 a year. I'm going to go make me $1 million. And then we'll talk at the end of the year and see who's doing better. It's a no-brainer to me. And I'm surprised that more guys aren't actually making that their goal. You still ask fighters, where do you want to be? UFC. For me, I'm going to be where they want my service and they want to pay me the most money for my services. And PFL, how old are you again? Like 26, 27?
26.
26. So, next year, you'd be 27 years old, you could be a millionaire. I mean, and it's not far-fetched to actually see you working your way through this tournament. I'm sitting, I got a little goosebumpy for you right now. Like, wow, but dude could be a million. That's the part of me where you guys see that I love Christian, because I get the goosebumps. Life-changing stuff, man. So let's talk about this fight you got coming up. Tell us about your first opponent, what you know about your opponent, and what you have to do, what you have in your arsenal that's already perfectly suited for this kid.
Opponent, Jonas Flock. He's a 14-5 fighter. I know he wrestled in college a little bit for, I think, an NCAA D3 school. But he likes to go to the ground, so we'll see how willing he is to try to put the fight to the ground this time. And striking, I think I have the advantage. I know in the jiu-jitsu I have the advantage. Question mark's going to be who's the better wrestler, and I definitely have confidence in my wrestling.
It's funny when you said, we'll see if he wants to go to the ground. You got this little smirk on your face, and I'm not saying that it was a cocky smirk. It's a confident smirk. Do you, when opponents, all through your career, especially as you continue to develop over the last few years, you've really just, stepped up to a level that a lot of people can't, compete on. Do you laugh when, other guys who think their ground is really solid, say, I'm going to take this guy down and I'm going to work him over, and you just sit there and go, like you said, well, you could try, because I mean, I would rather stand and try to bang with you than to get on the ground with you, and that's no disrespect. You've got hands, you've got striking and all that stuff, but your jiu-jitsu to me is scary. The scariest part of your game, because, like I said, seeing that banana split and watching how you really flow. You have such a good flow about how you do your work and your sweeps into your transitions of everything else. And it's like all of a sudden, 1 minute you're over here, and then all of a sudden, dude's over here choked out, legs up behind his head, and Christian's going, I win, So, but does did you get a kick out of it when guys say they wanted to challenge you on the ground in an MMA fight?
Yeah, I haven't had, I'm trying to think to this point, had an opponent say that they were going to try to challenge me on the ground. But it's always interesting to me when I have an opponent that maybe shoots on me that I didn't expect, or they try to initiate the clinch right away, because it usually doesn't end well.
Never. It really doesn't end well. We talked about you being on the Contender Series. The fight didn't go your way. You took an L. Since that time, because it's been a minute now since you were there, where do you think you've grown the most? Is it in your mental or is it in your physical?
I would say mental. I would say definitely since Contender, my mental has definitely grown and changed a lot. Just the comfort level I had. Last fight was there was a minute of ring rust at the beginning, but everything else after that, the comfort level set in, and I think it really helped not over committing to things and burning the cardio too quickly. And I definitely think I'm going to carry that into this fight. Just having that experience in the Contender Series and the lights on you, the pressure that's on in that situation, it's hard to compare a fight to that. So
Yeah,
I
no
think
doubt.
mentally it's a lot easier going into a lot of these other fights now.
So if you were able to turn back time, if you will, you were 24 when you went on the Contender, or you were 23?
24.
All right, so 24, young in your career, like seven wins at that point, I believe, or six. If you could go back and do it all over again, would you, knowing what you know now, would you have maybe not taken the Contender fight and given yourself a little more seasoning before you did that, or you would have done things exactly the same way as you did them?
I
No.
would have definitely taken the Contender fight knowing
Okay.
what I know now. I would have wanted to do a little different in the Contender fight looking back. There are moments that in my rush to finish the fight, I missed some opportunities to just settle and have. At one point, I had the Darce choke and I stepped into mount. And instead of situating myself to strike and let the submission come to me and find what was available, I tried to force the Darce and then I tried to force the triangle and just really trying to push for that finish more aggressively than finding what was available, which in turn ended up having me burn out. And by the time we escaped the final of like the 4 submissions I ran, the forearms and the calves from just squeezing everything just died out. And there was nothing left in the tank but throwing some random haymakers here and there and getting hit a lot.
You know what? I love how you just described that, because you know what? There's not too many men or women that fight that really, talk about how, they did this, and then they just gassed out. There was nothing left. They always got something else to say, and you were just like so honest about it, because that's what happened, and even though you lost, like you just said, those 4 submissions you ran, I mean, you were just, like I said, so smooth and flowing. It's so much fun to watch you when you're in that mindset and you're working on the ground, and because you're already like, when you get down there, I mean, let's say, I'm just going to pick a random thing. Let's say we're standing in the middle of the cage and you're fighting, and you were to jump guard. You got a guy by his neck and you're going to jump guard. You're going to pull him down there with you. You might not even finish out that choke. But as you grab his head and you're jumping, I already can picture in your brain that you're already 4 moves ahead of the submission you're actually looking to fucking finish with. Like, boom, down here, boom, boom, over here, side mount, control, full mount, boom, dart, whatever it be. And like I said, dude, I've been doing this a long time. And I love, when I first got into this, I didn't understand a lot of the jiu-jitsu. I was learning as I went. But now I understand so much more. So when I see somebody that's, brilliant to me on the ground like yourself, I get happy. And I don't even want to see you stand up. I want to see you do that crazy shit on the ground, what's his name? Ryan Hall from the UFC.
Yeah.
Even though he took that L in that last fight, dude, I could watch that guy just do that. And he's crazy, dude. He's not shy about it. He doesn't try to disguise a takedown behind a punch, although he threw a good couple of punches in that last but he doesn't disguise it. He's like, all right, I'm going to do an Amari roll, and I'm going to come down, I'm going to grab your leg. but I could watch that all day. Whereas in the beginning of this, I couldn't. Now I understand so much more, and I appreciate it. So I just want to say thank you for being so proficient and fluent on the ground, because it does make, even for the casuals that only watch for knockouts, it makes it more entertaining and interesting to watch and to understand when you see somebody that knows what they're doing on the ground. So thank you for that. And Mom and Dad, thank you for making him a BJJ kid. So we love that. I want to give you a quick shout out here from your teammate, a new strawweight champion at XFN. We're going to have her on Thursday, by the way. Naomi Young just said, Hollywood. She typed it up on the screen, man, so the people are watching. So let's talk about Volusia Combat Sports Syndicate. You and your folks, Dark Wolf MMA, doing all the jiu-jitsu over there. Pete White MMA and boxing was doing, stuff over at his school. And then you guys came together. Tell us, because I know you're, highly involved in the schools and everything else and teaching and training. Tell us how that even happened, because like when it first got announced, I was like, this is weird. Not bad weird, just weird. Like I didn't expect that. I didn't see it coming. And all of a sudden I was like, well, this makes a lot of fucking sense when you think about it. But so tell us how we got there, dude, because I'm so happy for all of you guys involved, because I think it's going to, like I said in the opening, I think it's going to elevate your school to a level where people are going to have you in the same breath as ATT and, MM Masters and Henry Hu's school down there. I can't remember what the hell it's called now, but the Fusions and all these schools that get the rub from the media and from the fans and from the fighters. I think you guys just cemented your spot in that group.
Yeah, so Pete ended up reaching out, talking to us about trying to get us out and teaching jiu-jitsu there. And we ended up discussing a partnership through it with my parents and Pete and everyone in the conversation of getting us out to their gym twice a week to teach them jiu-jitsu, having them come out and teach boxing at our gym, and having our teams mesh and get some work together. And so far, it's been fantastic. We have Pete comes out on Monday to teach boxing at 6. John Radford, who also teaches at Pete White's, comes out on Wednesdays to teach boxing. I go out on Tuesdays at 7 to teach no-gi jiu-jitsu at Pete's, as well as my dad goes out on Thursdays to teach jiu-jitsu. So we get a good combination of like the different styles that my dad and I bring. You get one day each where we're out at Pete White's, and the different styles that Pete and John bring when they come out to our gym, and just being able to work with the bodies that they also have at their gym. Like Chris Mixon and I have been getting in a lot of work. Chris is a great professional fighter out of Pete White's gym. And the mesh has been really nice because, as you know, our jiu-jitsu is high level and Pete White has very high level boxing. So when you start meshing them together, we get the best of both worlds. And it's just, I've felt us growing. I felt just everyone involved growing from it. I'm getting mitt work 2 days a week, one with Pete, one with John, and then giving the jiu-jitsu work to some of their guys that are out there getting ready for fights. Just everything's fitting together like a puzzle.
Yeah, and it's like you said, I'm really glad because it gives you so many different looks. Is there a plan in the future to actually build an academy, or is it too soon where everything's encompassed in one building?
I don't know about that at this point. The gyms are pretty far apart.
How far?
Probably 35 minutes, maybe 40.
30 to 40 miles apart?
Yeah, because you got Pete White's over in Port Orange, and then we're over in DeBerry.
Okay.
So it's a little drive up I-4 and then across 95. But
all right, we'll just have to find a spot in the middle and put the big academy there and put everybody under one roof. Because then I think everything elevates. I'll find the real estate for you. I'll get you guys a good deal. I know people. So for you, what's you teach obviously, and I know how much you love your teaching. And if I'm correct, you are a black belt. How long have you been a black belt? It's something I never asked you. Like, I don't know why, because I see your work. I'm like, duh.
I got my black belt March like the March that COVID really hit.
So last year, 2020.
Was it last year or 2019? It was right after. It was the March after my contender fight. So
maybe it was 2019.
but
I'll be honest. I thought you've been in a black belt as long as I've seen you going, dude. Like, I mean, like that's how good you are in the crowd. You know, I would have never assumed that it was something recent as 2019 that you received your black belt. Especially growing up, you know, with, you know, BJJ parents, you know, I mean, fucking, you know, most of the kids, you know, are out doing other stuff. And you're in the gym rolling and grappling and doing all that stuff. So, for you, what's more fun, teaching jujitsu or learning new jujitsu?
That's a tough one. They both bring different aspects to it. It's always fun learning.
Hold on, I'm going to interrupt you. The wife always has the right answer. The black belt was March of 2020. She just chimed on. Megan, how are you, girl? Hope you're doing well, sweetie. Sandra Lohsen says, congrats, Hollywood. Love you, Grandma and Grandpa. Aw, that's nice. Dennis Hughes, who I believe you fought his son, Dennis Hughes Jr., with your opponent, Icon. He just wanted to give you congratulations, Christian. Well deserved. So the teaching. So you learn different things from teaching, and, you know, you get a different high, I guess, from teaching versus a different high from learning new skills. There's
times when you're teaching, the way you have to break down techniques at times helps kind of reinforce some of the little details that sometimes you may have forgotten just over time. And then when you're teaching it and having to give the details to them, you're reminding yourself. And there's been many times where my game changes based off of what I'm kind of teaching and working on at that time to what I'm like actively going for. Like sometimes if we're Kimura heavy at that time, I'm like, oh, I forgot how much I love the Kimura. And then every roll I'm hitting Kimuras on Kimuras on Kimuras. And then the next week I'm teaching Darces a lot. And I'm like, that's right, I really love Darces. And then I'm hitting Darces that week just nonstop. Whereas learning new jiu-jitsu is always just great because you're adding to your game. Anytime you can bring in a little piece, maybe it's just a tiny detail on something you already do, or maybe it's something you've never seen before, but you can use the concepts from that technique to also input into some of your own technique you already have. Each side of it can improve your game.
I like it. So before I let you jump out here, a couple of other quick things. So you've been under the big lights, Dana White's Contender Series. And, you know, now that you've felt that, like you said, you know, the pressure of that, you know, and I guess, you know, the pressure that a lot of people don't understand is that, you know, your career is on the line that night. You're either going to get a UFC contract or you're not. And that adds to the pressure of just having to go in there and fight. And, you know, as skilled and talented as a fighter is, you know, they all still have a little nerves walking into a fight. It's still a fight, you know. So are we worried about the lights for this thing? You know, ESPN, this is a bigger platform than Dana White's Contender Series. So this is ESPN. This is a big deal, you know, I mean, and I'm not trying to frighten you or scare you, but it's a question worth asking because, you know, we talked a little bit about, you know, that moment did get you a little bit. And, you know, you're not the only one. Phil Rowe talked about it, you know, in his first fight, moment got him a little bit. It happens to a lot of people. Octagon jitters are real. But now that you've got this, you know, you've done that. All right, fuck it. I've been on the Contender Series, been in Vegas, Apex, in the Octagon. Is this going to be better for you now the second time around under the big, huge lights?
I think so. And this event's going to be similar to the Contender one in that it's not going to be a crowd. It's not a ticketed event.
Right.
I think it's going to be similar where I don't think they're doing walkout music. So it's going to be very similar to the Contender fight where you're coming out. It's going to be fairly quiet other than your 5 people you get to bring in that are going to be cheering as loud as they can. But it's still 5 people compared to a normal crowd. So it's going to be a very similar environment, I think, as a Contender. Biggest difference being it's not a yes or no when you're there.
Right.
it's fighting, but the contract signed. It's fighting to keep your contract, obviously, because
Right,
at
of
any
course.
given time, there's no guarantees. But having the experience on the Contender, where that one, when I walked out the first time, it's quiet. The walk's not a long walk to get to the cage. I remember I was walking out and I was trying to look around to see where Megan was because it was the first real fight she wasn't in the corner for. I was trying to see where Dana was because I wanted to know when I got the submission in the first where to look. But I remember getting in the cage and I was looking around and I didn't see either of them. And I got in and I was the second person to walk. So I got in, they had the camera on you for a little bit and then it was, you ready, go.
Yeah.
So I remember I was still looking around and then they said go. And I'm like, okay, we're fighting. Like, let's go.
Shit.
And then he blitzed me right off the bat. And we ended up being
remember.
into a clinch against the cage. And then the rest is history. But
Yeah, of course. Well, that's
cool
though.
I think experiencing that is definitely going to put me in a better spot for this one where I know what it's like to not have that huge crowd, the noise, the song to walk out, the big lights, the cameras, everything like that. I think it'll all work out.
Like I said, I'm excited for it. I think it's well deserved for you. I think, to me, signing that contract for you, PFL should feel honored to have you, and vice versa. You should be honored that they thought highly enough to put you in an opportunity, to make yourself a millionaire next year. So I really like the relationship for both of you. Before I let you go, I'm going to ask your opinion on my next guest. And she's sitting down there right now. She's in the green room, so she'll hear you. But my next guest is Taylor White. The last couple of years with her, she's been on a bad path, we're going to talk about all that. All the stuff that went on because you're part of her journey back to fighting. And Sunday night, she won a title at XFN. So give me your thoughts on the evolution of Taylor since you guys have really been doing all this cross-training together and working with each other, and, your thoughts of her making it all the way back and then win that belt Sunday night.
Yeah, it was great to watch on Sunday. I mean, the times we've spent in the gym, she's a very quick study. She's quick to pick up the techniques, the positioning. She's been in the sport a while. It's just A, getting everything back, and B, just continuing to grow. Like, you already know her boxing is going to be on point. And her jiu-jitsu is constantly growing. Like I said, she picks things up really quickly. And there's a great group that they have of bodies to work with. I know her and Naomi have been getting a lot of training together, which has been good for both of them because they're both in similar stages of their career right now, just advancing and getting ready to get to that next step. That's
awesome, man. And I tell you, man, for me, because I've known Taylor a long time, I've known you for a while. I've known Taylor a little longer. I'm glad that she has a guy like you on her team and in her corner and helping her learn because you do it the right way. You're not a crazy wild man punk in the streets. You grew up doing this. You're true to this. This is life for you. And for Taylor, who like I said, we're going to talk about some of the stuff. She went off a little bit and had a little fun outside. And lived a little life. But to see the success that you're achieving by staying the right path, with the diet and the training and all the stuff you do, it inspires girls like her and other people on your team to push forward because they see the success you're having. And like I said, I got a little tear in my eye because I love you both, and I'm just happy that she's in your corner now and you're in her corner and you're both gelling and learning off each other. And I love what you had to say about her, so I appreciate that. So before you go out, let's just bring her in to say hello, ladies and gentlemen. My next guest joining us right now, Taylor White. What's up, champ?
Hi.
I was waiting to see if you kept talking, Christian, and she started to tear up, and I think I saw a little tear building in there. So I was like, now we got to bring her in. Because after her fight, she did the locker room, and I got her on video, and she's like, crying with a friend who had her necklace all twisted. Her dad comes walking by and goes, all right, stop crying, that's enough. And she's just like, you had your moment, you're done. So Tay, before I let Christian jump out, since I had him speak on you, how proud you are, Christian, and your thoughts on him getting this opportunity. Because if anybody deserves it, it's him.
Yeah, I'm very excited for Christian. I've known Christian for a few years now, and I'm really glad that our gyms got to connect. That I get to work with him and his dad. They're great people. I'm really excited for him, and I know he's gonna do great in the PFL.
There you go. There you go. Maybe as you guys, continue up the ladder to the chart, because Taylor said she's going to go pro after next fight. We're going to talk about it too. It'll be cool to see, maybe you guys corner each other in some of these big fights. She's over in the UFC or in PFL even, and Christian's over there. You guys walk the corner together, work this shit, and take over the MMA world representing Dark Wolf, Pete White, and, of course, the Volusia Combat Sports Syndicate. Christian, thank you so much for taking time, especially I know you're on short notice and you're trying to cut weight and everything. And, hearts with you. My wife told me to tell you guys hello, and she's pulling for you. We're all pulling for you back here, and we love you, dude. And if you want to give out your social media before you dip and how people can keep up with you, drop that, and then you can drop the mic and dip on out because I know you got to go back to work.
Thank you. Pleasure talking to you. And social media, Instagram, Monkey Jiu-Jitsu, no spaces. Twitter, which I barely use, but if you want to follow that, is at Hollywood Lohsen. Facebook, Christian Hollywood Lohsen. I have a page there that's for likes. But thank you for having me.
Oh, always, dude. I'm honored that you still want to come on my show and do stuff with me because, hopefully, when you win the $1 million, you come back here and do, because then you'll be my first millionaire on the show. So, and that'd be dope, man. Look, I got a millionaire world champion, fuckers. To everybody. Listen, God bless you and yours, dude. Again, I already told your wife hello, but tell your mom and dad again. I said, it was great seeing you guys Sunday at the fights, and we will talk again soon, brother.
All right. Have a good one.
All right. Thanks, brother. All right, boys and girls, that is Christian Lohsen. He's dipping out, and there's Tay. So now let me give her the full introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us on the show right now, she is the reigning XFN flyweight champion, the one, the only, Taylor, the next big thing, White!
Thank you.
Look at you, you're so happy. I'm so happy. I was so happy I was there for that moment for you. You don't know why you do things in life. I don't know why I do things in life, but I just woke up and I was looking around and said, Taylor's fighting tonight. It's been a while. I'm going to drive over to West Palm Beach and come watch this girl fight. I miss her. I haven't seen her go in a while. I knew, you'd gone through some stuff, and we're going to talk about all that. But before we get into it, I just want to tell you, man, it was so good to see you back in your element. And, I don't know how much of you remember backstage after the fight. You were crying and everything. And I said something to you, and I think it's on one of the little videos I shared, where you earned those tears, So even though your dad said stop crying, you cry, girl. You let that shit out because you really earned it. You earned the right to cry because you went down a path that you probably, you look back now and go, man, I wish I didn't do that. Where would I be today? But, no regrets. You live life, and the moments of yesterday turn you into the person you are today. So, who knows if you did, who knows where you'd be today if, things went different. We don't know. You could have been a superstar already, or you could have been, nothing. I mean, it's hard to tell. All I know is your journey, and again, we're going to get into all that. But I know a lot of what happened with you. I just want to tell you, as somebody who's watched you come up, and it feels like you've been fighting, like, I feel like I've known you for like 25 years, even though that's impossible because I don't even know how old you are. You're not 25 yet, are you? Are you 25 yet?
I'm 21.
No, 21. That's what I thought, man. So I'm like,
Yeah.
But it feels like I've known you, like I've known you for 25 years. Like I've watched you do all this stuff. I fight, if dad's there, you're there. And it's like, so the fact that you're still just an amateur getting ready to turn pro, it makes me, I'm like, wasn't she already a pro? It's so confusing because you've been doing this so long. And you're so good at what you do. But so I was honored to be there and give you a little hug after. And but I meant what I said. You earned the right to cry. And I know it wasn't just, I know those tears. Some of them were sad. Some of them were probably some anger emotions at yourself inside. Because we get mad at ourselves for making mistakes, and you had to let that all out. And then, of course, the tears of joy that were shining over your nice new belt. Yay! So there's so much that goes on. So let's take a step back to 2 years. ago. After your last fight, I guess that was your last fight. So,
Mm.
what happened? I mean, what was the thing that set you off where you kind of gave up on the training and the fighting? You started drinking and partying. Maybe I don't want to say hanging out with the wrong people because I don't know who you're hanging out with. Maybe you were hanging out with some wrong people that weren't the proper influence you needed in life. And you also don't mention any names of people if you don't want them. You know what I'm saying. Just but I saw a little clip from you that XFN did, but it really wasn't enough for you to tell the story. And I really want people to hear your story for two reasons. One, because I think it's cleansing for you, which to me is the most important reason to tell a story publicly. But two, because somebody's going to hear your story and somebody's going to be going through what you went through. And that person's life is going to change because they hear your words. And that is the second most important part of it. Like I said, the first part for you is cleansing. But I know when I've had bad things in my life and I share it publicly with people, it's cleansing for me. And, it makes me feel better about what I'm going through. And then knowing that maybe something I said could help somebody else in life. And that's the thing, we want to help each other. So sometimes our shit, puts shine on somebody else. It's such a strange thing, but, so take us through, what you went through, where you were, why it happened, I'm just going to sit back here. I'm going to drink some Liquid Death Mountain Water. Come on, guys, sponsor me, you sons of bitches. Liquid Death Mountain Water. They say on the bottom of the can, it says, murder your thirst. I'm not even shitting Tay. This fucking water is better than any other fucking bottle of water I've ever drank. It's in a can. Listen, this is real. I'm not even kidding. I want them to sponsor me because I believe in the product. People go, water's water and everything, but it's not. And I when I first saw it, I was like, water in a can? That's good. Tastes like crap. Like, I don't like other stuff in a can, But this actually works in the can, and it's crisp, and you can taste how fresh it is. It blows my fucking mind. So, Liquid Death, I love you guys. Sponsor me. Hey, and listen, when you sponsor me, get on the Tay train. Sponsor her too, because she's gonna be a big star.
Yes.
And then you're gonna be like, then when you come asking, then the price is gonna be a lot more money. I'm trying to get you on the ground floor, motherfuckers. All right. So Tay. I'm trying to help everybody. Tay needs some sponsors. Right. They need to grow their brand. It's a winning fucking marriage as far as I'm concerned. Before you tell your story, though, the king himself, Ken Mon Evans, said, proud of you, little sis. You keep grinding. So, and we're going to I'm going to call out some names. After you tell the story, I'm going to mention some names I want to talk about specifically. But so just, tell us what started the journey, the spiral downwards, and, take us through it, and you don't have to hold back, be yourself. If you need to cry when you're doing it, cry. I'm prepared for that. I've got my little rag here to wipe my tears because I have a feeling I'm going to cry with you, girl, because I have a feeling we're going to get some real emotion here, dude. And I cry. My wife will tell you I'm a crier. So, let it rip. I'm ready.
All right. So I'm very open about telling my story because, like you said, I want to help others that are going through the same thing. And I never in my life thought I would, go down the bad path that I did. But I did, it happens. So my last fight was in December of 2019. I won, and I was happy. I went out, celebrated with some friends, had a good time, whatever. But leading up to that fight, I went through a breakup. So, I was kind of dealing with that at the same time. Got the win. It was great, happy, And then, I've been in the gym since I was 9. I've been at it since I was a kid. I've never been to a party. I never went to the clubs. I never drank, never smoked. I was against all of it. I didn't do any of it. My dad was very strict on me, keeping in the gym, so I never did any of that. I never experienced it. So I just started, I was like, I want to go to the club. I want to know what it's like to have fun and go out. I want to go to a party. I've never been to a party before. So I just started going out every weekend. Not getting home till like 3 or 4 in the morning, getting drunk as shit, smoking, doing everything I'm not supposed to do. I let myself go. I gained so much weight. And then I started getting really depressed, and I was like, God, like I couldn't get out of bed. I didn't shower, didn't brush my hair. I didn't take care of myself. I kept drinking to feel numb, just make myself feel better, which is a horrible thing to do. And then the only thing that would make me happy was food. So I would eat, and then I would weigh myself like another 10 pounds up, and I would get even more depressed. And then I would just eat as comfort to make myself feel better and drink on top of it. And I mean, I was hiding it from my friends. I turned 21 so I could go buy alcohol. So I would go buy alcohol, hide it underneath my bed, hide it from my family, my friends. I would keep it to myself, you know. And I remember one day I was supposed to go out with my friends, and I had to go by my house to grab money. And I walked in my room, and I had a mirror on my wall, and I looked at myself, and I didn't even recognize myself. And I just started crying, like screaming, crying, fell to the ground. My grandma came in, and I told her, like, it's so bad that I'm like considering taking my life because I just don't want to be here anymore. You know, it was really a hard time for me, and I didn't like talking about it to anybody, or I didn't want to tell my dad because I didn't want to make him worry about shit like that. He has enough going on in his life. So I just told my grandma, like, I'm not doing good, and I need to get help. And I remember I like got up and I wiped my tears, and my friend came in, and she was like, the one that was at my fight, my best friend D. She was like, "Dude, what's
Oh,
going on?" And I was like, and
oh, the
I
girl
told
who
her
had one
everything.
job with the necklace. That
Yeah, the
girl.
one job with the
You had one
necklace that
job,
ruined it.
girl.
One job. You ruined it.
One job. That was so
But
funny. So she was the one who came
she
over that
came.
night.
Yeah, and we've been friends for 8 years, and I was hiding it from her of me drinking and stuff like that. And I just told her, like, dude, I can't. Like, she would always try to get me to, like, oh, let's go to the beach, let's go do something. And she couldn't get me out of bed, and she started to worry about me because we've been friends for so long. And she talked to my grandma, and I got help. I went, I saw a therapist. I was diagnosed depressed, obviously, and I started seeing a therapist and telling him about my drinking problem, and I did this and that, and he told me, like, listen, you're borderline alcoholic now, so you gotta. And that's what really scared the shit out of me, because I was like, dude, I'm fucking 21 years old, like, I can't be going through this now, you know. I'm 180 pounds, I'm drinking, like, this, you know. And it was fun, and then I woke up one day when my therapist told me that, and I was like, okay, this isn't the lifestyle for me, you know. I can't. I, I never saw myself being an average person. I never wanted to live the average lifestyle, working a 9 to 5, you know, having a family young and stuff. That just was never in my mind. I never wanted any of that. I always wanted to be a champion. I always wanted to be a fucking superstar. People know, you know.
Oh,
So
we know,
I
Tay
just,
Tay.
it
We
woke me
know.
up. Yeah,
We all know. I mean,
it
that's
woke me up. It woke me up, and I was like, God, dude, I gotta change my life around, or else I'm gonna be living like this forever. And then I realized, like, holy shit, fucking 2 years has gone by, and I haven't fought. I stopped training. I didn't go to the
yeah,
gym. I was out at a bar every night, even during the week, you know.
yeah.
And I was like, God, like, 2 years went by so fast, and I was like, hey, I gotta do something. So I decided, I packed my bags up, and I started staying with my dad. I slept on the couch, and I would wake up at 5 a.m. and I would go to the gym, run, work out. I would get ready, go back home, go ready for work, go work, get off at 3, and go right back to the gym at night to go train. And I kept doing that for months and months and months. And then eventually I stopped working towards the end of this fight camp. And I stopped working, and I just put my all, my 100% into the training camp, because it meant so much to me to come back. And you know, a lot of people ripped me off. A lot of people stopped hitting me up during those 2 years, and they forgot about me. And everyone thought I quit and this and that. You know, not a lot of people checked up on me to see, like, oh, what's Taylor doing? You know, I haven't seen her in a while. So the people that were there for me and knew what was going on, you know, I didn't tell anybody that was pressed. I didn't talk about any of it. Only like maybe a handful of people in my family knew about it. And you know, I'm very grateful for those people that got me back on the right track. You know, my dad, you know, he never gave up on me, even
Thank
though he
God.
was, you know, I'm sure, yeah, he was disappointed in me, you know, for taking all the time off, but he never gave up on me. And I told him, like, I'm gonna get back into it. I'm gonna lose this weight. I'm gonna fight again. And I told everyone I'm gonna be the XFN flyweight champion. You know, I got the opportunity. I took it. And I trained my ass off for that fight, man. I mean, I
It
barely
showed.
slept. I was up every morning, training 2 or 3 times a day. I'm in a way, like, I took the 2 years off and I regretted it because I regretted what I did to my body and how long it took me to get back in shape. But the other side of me, I'm kind of grateful for because I got to experience that path of partying and this and that. And I realized at 21, I was still young, that that's not the lifestyle I want to live. So it motivated me even more to like, okay, I really got to push this fighting shit. I really got to fucking be something. And I don't want to have that average lifestyle. So in a way, I regret it. In a way, I don't. I'm blessed for it because I came back so much more mentally stronger, and I went from not being able to get out of bed and contemplating my life to fucking a champion, in 3.5 months. So,
It's crazy.
I want to share my story. I want to share
Yeah,
my
and you
story for
should.
other people.
And you said
I got
something
a
a minute
lot of,
ago. You said something a minute ago. I wanted to just say because you said your dad's probably disappointed in you. I I know your dad a while. I don't think he was disappointed in you. I think your dad, being the wise man that he is, and seeing people go through life, even though he didn't, he always tried to get you to stay off that path. You know, I'm sure somewhere in his head he always knew you might, take a trip down that road, to see what's going on out there. Maybe not stay as long as you did. So I don't think he was disappointed in you. I think he was disappointed for you because of what you were feeling inside. I think he just loved you and he just wanted you, to get better, back to being, Taylor to Tay Tay, his little tater
yeah,
tot. So I don't think and maybe he'll tell you differently, but I just the way I see your dad and the way I see how he is with his family, all of you guys, and the way he speaks of you folks, your brothers as well, his sons and all that. So yeah, I knew he would never give up on you. Uh, but I don't think he was disappointed in you. I think he was disappointed for you. That's my assessment.
hmm
So you were talking about some of the people along the way. So Mitchell Shamali, what does he mean to you in this? Because I know Mitchell Shamali is highly entrenched in our MMA community. Runs Combat Night. We've all known him for years. He'll fly out to Vegas with Hannah Goldie to corner her. He'll train her before a fight. He'll help her out. I know that he's always been in your corner. But your dad, after the fight, he put something up on social media. He just wanted to thank, or he said it during my show, or I did a little quick, Facebook Live. I don't remember if he said it or if he wrote it, but he said something about Mitchell Shamali really helping you get back on the right path. So obviously that means Mitchell was really involved in, your rebuilding of yourself, the rebranding, the new Tay Tay. So tell us
hmm
how important he was in all of this for you, because he's a good dude, and we got to shout him out when we can.
Yes, I love Mitchell. Mitchell's a great guy. He was the first promotion I fought for when I started MMA, and he helped me out a lot. He might not know it, but he's very motivating. I see him on social media, always repping all of these fighters and supporting all of these people to try to make it to the dream, like Preston going into UFC. He's helped so many people and so many fighters. He's a really great guy, and he did help me. I was fortunate enough to be able to go train with him this fight camp a couple times. And I mean, that's actually who I hit up. I was like, Mitchell, I want to come. I want to come train again. I'm ready. I'm good. I'm not hurt. Like, I'm ready to come train with you again. He's one of my favorite training partners, honestly, that I've ever worked with. I love working with Mitchell, and he always drops a bunch of knowledge on me, and he helps me out. And I know, like, he truly cares about the people he works with and the fighters that he helps.
Yeah.
And he's a really great guy, definitely.
Yeah. All right. So, and of course, I don't even need to say anything about your dad because we already know, and that might get the tears going, but this might get the tears going. I mean, your dad he's watching. He commented, goes, "This path needed to happen, but I knew she would be back. She will be a UFC world champion. Mark my words." I see it.
Definitely.
There, kid.
I know. That's the only
I
person that can get to me is my dad.
I know. That's why I said it. Hey, crying on an interview is all right, man. People feel you. They do. And the one thing I always say to fighters is, be real, be yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
Be true to you. You were born into this. You were born to this. You're not new to this. You're true to this. You took a little side path, and you had some fun. I'm sure because some of it was fun. Let's not
Oh,
sugarcoat
definitely.
it. No, some of you had a fucking good time. I don't remember what event it was, but I do remember seeing you at an event. I want to say we were in Pensacola and we were at the after party or something. We might have been at a club in Pensacola and you were shit faced. And you were walking around, you were having the time of your life, and I'm looking around, and yeah, I think it was an Fights because I think Dean was there, and Dean was like, saw you walking by, you were all like wasted. He goes, "What's up, Tay Tay?" And you were like,
Yeah.
you just turned, and so but it is funny because now that I think about it, I didn't see you out in clubs because I live on the East Coast and I don't go clubbing, and I gave up on club life a long time ago, but. I'll never forget that moment because even after other fights where you were at, where people were having cocktails after, at the hotel or something, we're all hanging out. I never saw you like want to drink or do any of that. So I was like, well, she just stretching her feet a little bit, seeing what's going on. And you was having some fun that night. So
I was.
So I got to ask this question because I don't think I would be doing my job correctly if I didn't. So when you started partying hard. And drinking hard. Did you like go any further than alcohol? Were you fucking around with any drugs? I'm not talking about weed or anything. But were you doing anything like that? Did you try some shit out? I mean, because again, you're young, you experiment. I mean, when I was your age, I tried some cocaine, ate a lot of acid, fucking a lot of mushrooms. I did some stupid shit, Thank God I only tried coke once and it didn't stick on me because fucking, I've seen it ruin people.
Yeah.
But I did it once and I was like, that's disgusting. So, and I tried ecstasy once and that shit made me vomit. And, I'm a half a Jewish guy. So I was like, I just spent $30 on a pill. And in order for me to get off, I got to fucking puke. Get the fuck out of here. I'm never doing that anymore. It wasn't because of the feeling. It was because of the money. Like, fuck that. I'm not going to take a pill to make me puke. And then I feel, go fuck yourself. Come up with a better drug. I know. I'm just kidding. I don't condone drug use. But did you go out there and try anything and maybe go a little too far with some stuff?
Actually, no, I didn't. The most I did was weed and drinking. I offered? Yes, of course, but I'm too scared to try any of that.
I'm so glad that you said no to that question because, that shit can really fuck your world up.
Oh, definitely.
And I'm glad that you didn't fuck with any of that stuff. So that's good. And you know what that says to you? That says that at that point, when you started hearing those voices and people offering you, hardcore drugs and everything, and you said no to it, that was the you that was, kind of, drowning in the alcohol. That was you back there going, no, Tay, don't do it.
Yeah.
That was your own little voice in your head because that was what was always, shoved into your brain, something you knew not to do, and Kevin goes, I would have knocked her out.
I know my dad is watching like this right now, like, oh, this.
Yeah, he's going. No, when I asked the question, he's going, she better fucking say no. She better fucking say no.
Yeah, she better.
But you know what?
No,
your dad. Yeah, I don't think I even had to ask the question for you to publicly say no. Then your dad would know, because you know what? Again, your dad's not a stupid man. And if you were doing something like that, people can hide drinking. I've seen it happen. My grandma's an alcoholic. So I've seen it. But it's really hard to hide. If you're doing blow. I mean, weed. You go get a prescription, doctor ordered fucking weed. I smoke weed all day. I got a script. It's fucking boom. Yeah. So. But other stuff, hardcore stuff, ecstasy or, fucking G or fucking Roxys and Oxys and cocaine, those things are no joke. And they could have just, they could have killed you, So I'm so glad that, your dad put it into your head when you were younger. And even though you were, your brain was floating a little bit sometimes because you was having a little alcoholic, fucking the brain was floating around in there, but the brain still worked. And the super important lessons stayed there and kept you from going down that path. There's also somebody else I want to shout out, and I want you to talk about, and your dad. I had down. I don't write notes for my show ever, but I had the two names down here. I wanted to ask you about Mitchell and the other one. Your dad just brought it up to Lou Bibo Vasquez. How much does that kid mean to you in your life, in your camp? I saw you guys sharing a moment after, and when he was talking to you after the fight again, I got part of that on film. I was goosebumped the whole time, and I would go back and watched it. and I was goosebumped again. There's something really awesome between you guys, and I felt it like you guys were projecting positive energy out, and anybody was standing within 15, 20 feet was feeling it. So tell us how important he is to you and this resurgence.
Me and Lou just actually met this year, and when you meet people, sometimes you just click, and that's exactly what it was. Me and Lou, we just clicked. He's like a brother to me. We're like this. We talk. He's helped me with fighting, and then a bunch outside of the cage. We've had heart to hearts. We've had one-on-ones. He would drive me to Mitchell's house to go train with him, and he was there every single day for my fight camp. Even after he fought, he stayed in the gym to help me. And I mean, I'm so grateful for Lou. He'll always be family to me, and he'll always be in my corner forever. He's a great person, a great fighter, and I'm so glad that we crossed paths.
Yeah, you guys the way I saw you guys hanging out at the fights, before and after, I would have thought, you've known this kid for 10, 15 years, because that's the vibe you all give off. You were like in elementary school together or something, fucking fighting on the playgrounds and shit. Fucking, yo, give me my juice box, motherfucker. I can just see that, But so that makes it even more incredible that you guys have really, you caught a vibe with somebody. And shout out also to Naomi Young, who, I know was part of your camp too. And, she's a champ now too. We're going to have her on Thursday. But she said, born a champ, strong mind, strong heart, when she's talking about you. And she went out after you fought in the main event, and she got herself some flyweight bling on the waist. What? I don't remember who said it or why they said it, but somebody called her Supermom. So I just kept calling her Supermom all night. It was the first time I met her. I'm like, she's Supermom. That's how I'm going to fucking talk about her all the time.
She is.
Supermoms are like the coolest people, and when I talk about Supermoms, I'm talking about ladies that do something crazy outside in the world of sports, like fighting or professional anything, or even amateur anything. There's so much time and dedication you have to do to be successful at that, and then raise your family. That's awesome. There was a girl.
She's a great mom.
There was a girl that fought at Game Bred Fighting Championship. I announced their first show a little while back. I'm gonna have to look up her name, but she incorporated something about mom into her nickname, and I can't remember it now. It's escaping me, but I'll remember it later, and then I'll be like, I'll like post on Facebook, boom, and I'll tag you in so you know what I was talking about. I hate when that happens. You forget something, then randomly 20 hours later you remember what the fuck it was.
Right.
That doesn't mean anything anymore. So now we get to fight night. You went through all the trials and tribulations. You put in all the hard work, and then you decided, all right, now it's time to fight. So 3 months, you had some time to prepare. You got the fight for XFN, and it was the first time I've ever been to one of their shows. And, he's always invited me, and I've always been busy. But I guess it was the moment right for me to see his show, because you were there. Because you're what made me go. It was just, we woke up. I swear to God, it was Sunday. It was like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I worked, and I look over to the wife, go, what do you want to do today? And she's like, I don't know. I said, let's go to West Palm Beach and watch Taylor beat somebody up. That's what I said. And it just felt like that was such the right thing to do. So it wasn't even planned. We woke up, and I just knew something said to me, get up and go. So I got up and went, and I'm so glad I did. But so now you're there. You're getting ready. I see you backstage before the fight, and you're all, doing what Taylor does before the fight, getting loose, chilling, relaxing, hanging out with your pops and everybody else. And John Radford, by the way, shout out John Radford for getting that first win as a pro boxer. That's epic, dude. Fucking, I told you there, and I'm telling you again. But so now it's fight night. Now you make that walk. All the backstage stuff is all the same, but how did it feel when you walked into that cage that night and they closed the door behind you and the fight was about to start? Because I'm guessing, as calm as you looked, your dad said to me before the fight, I feel bad for whoever gets in front of her because she's going to release some shit tonight, and but when that door closed, I mean, how did you feel? I mean, what was the emotion going on? Because I think, like you said, there was prior, where you said, there was a point where you thought, maybe about taking your life. So I'm sure there was definitely thoughts that you would never, ever be back inside a cage again. But yet here you were, and there was gold on the other side of that cage waiting for you. But when you first walked in, and your opponent walks in, you walk in. So that's all going on. There's still kind of commotion, but then the doors close, and now the announcer's saying your name, saying her name, and now it's really that's the moment. So where were you in your head at that moment?
So walking to the cage, I'm not gonna lie, I was shitting bricks. I was pretty nervous, and I honestly don't get really nervous for fights like that. But I was nervous as shit. I think because my first fight back, I haven't made a walk in so long. And then I remember hugging my dad and then walking in. And as soon as I got in the cage, I swear to God, I felt so relaxed. I felt so comfortable. I was like, all the nerves in my body left. I wasn't nervous. I was ready. I didn't feel anything. And then I started smiling and laughing when I'm walking back and forth. And I was like, dude, I'm back. Like, I was so excited. I wasn't nervous at all. And that's why I was so calm, because I felt at home. I wasn't freaking out. And then I remember she walked in, and I'm looking across the cage at her, and I just kept saying, I'm the fucking best. I'm the fucking best. And I was looking at her, and I was like, I'm the fucking best. And then touch gloves, whatever, we start fighting. I was just calm. I just did what my dad told me to do. He said, stalker. Do what you do in stalker. He's like, you'll see it. So I did that, and I remember I hit her with the 3, and I remember feeling her temple, and I was like, all right, I know I just rocked you. So then I remember she went against the cage, and I threw the combo, and then when she fell to the ground, I actually started screaming at her, and I said, that's my fucking belt. That's my fucking belt, when I was punching on the ground, and then it got stopped. And then when they stopped it, just like all the emotion just came to me, like the 2 years I took off, contemplating suicide, all of that shit. I was like, I lost all of that weight. I trained my ass off. I prayed every night.
Tell
And
everybody
just
how
hit me
much
at
weight you
once, and I
lost.
was like,
Tell everybody how
53
much
pounds.
weight you lost. 53 pounds, guys.
53. Yeah.
Because
A lot of
remember, she
weight,
fought.
boy.
She fought at 125. So
Mhm.
add 3 pounds to that cage, and boom, that was Taylor. She said she was up around 180. So the fact that that's a whole other fight that you won already. You know what I'm saying? Before you even made it to fight night,
Yeah.
just the fact that you won that battle, the weight battle. So yeah, girl, I can't even imagine what was going on here. But when you came out and you said that backstage, like when I was hitting her, I was like, that's my fucking belt. That's my fucking belt. I'm just going. And I'm saying to myself, and because there was, I was standing far away from the cage, and maybe I don't know if anybody cage side actually heard you, but man, I could just picture as you said that, I'm going, yeah, that's so Taylor. Like that's what she's doing. She's fucking,
yeah.
she's manifesting right there live. That's my fucking belt. That's my fucking belt. And
I went crazy.
that's how, but that's how you are. You're so intense when you fight. You go out there with the reason to inflict violence on somebody and advance your career. That's what fighting is. So yes, I was happy for you. I was like, look at her go, man. You did. You looked so happy, and I knew as soon as you went out, the fight started. You guys circled for a second. I saw you throw a kick, and then you followed the kick with a fucking jab, and I was like, okay, she's totally back. She's calm. She's cool. And then that's what you did. You pieced her apart. You used your kicks right to fucking set up your punches, and vice versa. You were throwing a couple punches, set up a kick. You really did all of it right. There's not a critique I could give, except do it faster next time. No, I'm just kidding, man. Fucking you do it. You do it as it comes. Don't I don't know how much of Christian's interview you watched, but he goes, I was at my Contender Series fight. He said I was chasing, these things when I should have let them come to me, basically. And you showed that you didn't chase it. You let it come to you. It all was natural progression of flow. It was organic. And that's the way you've always fought before. Now, you said you were going to do one more pro fight or one more amateur fight and then turn pro. So you have one loss, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And that was against Shelby?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the fight you want to do before you go pro, or do you want to wait till you guys both turn pro and beat her up for money or fight her for money?
As far as I know, she's already pro in an Invicta. But
that's right. She did.
Yeah.
No, she did.
Yeah.
See, I'm glad you said that. There's so much that happens in our community. I forget some stuff sometimes. My bad, Shelby. I'm sorry. If you ever see any of this, I forgot you did turn pro. I'm stupid. All right, so I guess we'll have to get you up there. But is that a fight you want back when you turn pro? Then we'll switch the question around. So some fighters have to get that loss back. They want an opportunity to redeem themselves, whether it's amateur or pro. You want to run into that person again. So is that something you want, or is that something you feel if it happens, it happens. If it don't, whatever. It doesn't define my career. Because I know that rivalry was fucking. That was a good little rivalry right there.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely doesn't define me as a fighter. It was one loss out of all my other fights. She's on her path, I'm on mine. Respect to her, she's doing her thing. Yeah. Whatever she does in her life, respect to her. But I'm on my own path, and I'm going my own way.
So then the goal, the next fight, I guess, is you want to defend this belt against somebody and then, turn pro, or you just want to get another fight in before you turn pro, regardless of if you defend the XFN belt. I personally think it'd be cool to watch you defend the XFN belt and then turn pro. But, I'm not your manager or your coach or your trainer, so whatever I say doesn't really fucking matter.
Well, September 24th for Island Fights is looking pretty nice. So I think I'm going to do that.
Oh, I'm going to get to announce your last Amy fight. Fucking hey, I'm fucking excited. So is this definitely happening? You're on this card?
It's in the works, yeah.
Cool. Well, that's awesome. You don't have to say yes or no. But that's awesome. I love it. Pensacola, we love you up there, girl. Fucking the fans up there like you. It's like I know Combat Night is important to you, and I know Island Fights is also important to you. There's so much that your father has done with fighters up there that he's trained over the years. Plus, you've been there with us before. There are a lot of people you train with down there. And you've watched come up like Hannah and Alex and Mike and Phil. They've all got Island Fights experience, so it's like it's part of the progression. So yeah, come on, girl, we'll party up in Pensacola, but we'll party with Liquid Death Mountain Water.
And
hey, it looks like we're drinking something hard, but we're not. It's just water.
It does.
Right? It totally looks like. People ask me in the store, go, dude, how's that beer? I'm like, it's not beer, man. It's water. They're like, shut the fuck up, man. I'm like, dude, look. It said, no, I don't drink. But you can see it on there. It said Mountain Water, right? Right on the can, Mountain Water. That's all it is. I don't drink. And if I did drink, I would never do an interview with somebody that, just had a problem with drinking. I would just be fucking, but look, it's funny. Naomi, same thing. She legit thought it was like she thought I was drinking beer right now. No, I would never do that. That would be such a dick move. Like if the situation was reversed and if Taylor was interviewing me and I had a booze problem and Taylor came on, she was drinking a beer, I would just click myself out. I wouldn't even done the interview. That's why I wanted to make sure you could, and that was one of the reasons. I am totally do this during every show. I was like, come on, you fucker, sign me. Give me some money. But I did that for a reason because I knew I was going to be drinking this, and I knew you were probably going to think it was beer, so I wanted to make sure you understood it is just water. So I'll pour it on me if you want to see. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that.
I don't think there's anything wrong with celebrating after fights, but just to drink every weekend, that's not something I would, recommend to everybody. But celebration here and there, whatever.
So did you have a celebration cocktail after your fight?
I had one drink, yes.
Okay. All right, so you can't have another one until you win your first pro fight. I'm
exactly.
saying that's
balance.
The rule now.
It's all about balance.
So I don't care what happens in your next fight because it's going to be an AMI fight until you get that first pro win, and it can only be like a little bit of something. No, listen, I'm going to tell you from life experience and seeing people gone through what you went through, and as dedicated and determined as you are to stay on the right path, sometimes it just takes one to turn you back the wrong way. And that's from my heart to you. So even though, you go, after a fight one, maybe never have another one again. It's not a bad thing. Fucking, there's other ways to celebrate, So, we can eat a fucking, big old cheeseburger because you can work that off in the gym tomorrow.
Sure.
And, we can eat a slice of pizza. We could do some ice cream, if you want to smoke, I got you, but yeah, so it's just keep that in mind, anytime you think it's okay to have one, because one could turn back into it's like Pringles or Lay's potato chips. You can't eat just one. It's a funny thing to compare it to, but the reality is sometimes you can't drink just one. And you know, you've come way too far back. For me, my opinion, and this is not as the interviewer, this is not as your ring announcer, this is as somebody that knowing you as a friend, you know, somebody that cares and loves you. One could set you back, so just always keep that in mind, because fucking I would hate to fucking see you go back down that road, girl, because you've worked so hard, and like I said, I'm proud of you, and there's a lot of people that are proud of you. But you know, and don't even worry about letting us down. Worry about letting yourself down again, because that was the worst feeling you went through. It wasn't even about upsetting your dad or any of your family. The worst feeling you went through all this shit was you let yourself down inside. And you know, we're humans, and our nature is to beat ourselves up. You know, and you know, don't do that to yourself ever again, kid. That's just Chris to Taylor. You know what I'm saying? That's not, like I said, not any of the other professionals. That's just me to you, because I know you long enough, and I watched you since you were a kid, coming up through this shit to tell you straight. So, you know, be smart, be good. Here's a shout out to you from Alex Nicholson. What's up, motherfucker? Proud of you, Tay. You know how he rolls. That's how he says. That's just, I love Alex, man. Can you believe Odin is in fucking like virtual kindergarten today? Like,
I know.
Fuck.
So big. I know.
Caden's in kindergarten. Fuck.
Yeah.
We're getting old, Tay.
I know.
Well, I'm already old. You coming this way. You didn't have to say, you know, like you knew I was old. That hurt my feelings. No. I'm kidding, Tay. I'm kidding. I'm just happy that we can sit here and, you know, this is my favorite part of talking with people, especially something that I care about, you know, with real feelings, is seeing you smile and laugh and be yourself, and you know, leaving that, you know, the club girl behind. There was Tay Tay, the club girl. That girl gone. She dead. We don't know her no more. Then we got Taylor, the awesome human, the fighter, the friend, the family member, you know, that you know, everybody loves. You know, so just keep being her, because that's who you are. Don't try to be all this party girl. You did it, right? You said, fuck it, you know, it's, what did it really get you? You know, didn't find you a good man. Fucking, you never find a good man up in the club. And if you're looking for girls, you never find a good girl up in the club. So, you know, it's just, you know, either way, you know, fucking, you know, there's nothing positive about it. And you know, and I work as a DJ at a club, you know, and I don't drink, I don't party, I don't hang out with the people I work with. You know, a lot of them like to go to clubs. I can't work in a club and then go to a club. That's just so it's job, it's money. I get in, I get out. But yeah, stay this path, Tay. Don't even, you know, I'm changing my rule. No drink after your first pro win. Fuck that. We'll celebrate some other way.
All right.
When you get done, you'll be around good people. You don't do anything. And wherever that first pro fight is, if it's something that you do here with us or one of the shows I do or somewhere else, out of town or whatever, whenever you get back, you get that first pro win, fucking me and the wife will take you out to a fucking nice dinner somewhere, and we'll fucking hook you up with like a big fat filet mignon and fucking, you know, with all the trimmings, right? You know what we'll do? We'll set it up to go down to Fort Lauderdale, and we'll go to the restaurant where Charles Rosa, UFC fighter, is a chef, like one day a month. And he's an amazing chef. We're going to go down there and make him cook us dinner for all of us.
Yes, I'm down for that.
And here, Coach David Lohsen says, sprinkles. You celebrate with sprinkles. Sprinkles are for winners. He's saying that for two reasons. One, sprinkles are for winners, but at one of Christian's fights in Pensacola, we all went to IHOP after, you know, and so I was with David and Melissa and Christian and Megan, and my wife was there, and we're all just hanging out. I don't even remember who else was there, but some other people from the team, and we're talking, and you know, somehow we came up with sprinkles are for winners, because Christian was going to get sprinkles on his ice cream, I guess, you know, because he'd been dieting and staying true, and or no, I don't remember, but it came up, sprinkles are for winners, right? And so I started teasing. I said, we should change your name, fucking Christian, from Hollywood to Sprinkles. Christian Sprinkles Lohsen. You know, we were just so like when we showed up at the fight to see your fight, I saw him sitting there and go, "What's up, Sprinkles?" You know, and fucking it popped me and started laughing. You know, but he's such a good dude. So we celebrate with Sprinkles. So that's what we'll do. We'll get you the big fat steak, fucking maybe with the lobster on the side or something cool like that. Whatever Rosa cooks up for us. And then we'll get some ice cream and we'll put sprinkles on that motherfucker.
I'm down.
Hey, listen, it's funny we're talking about ice cream and sprinkles. Carla Esparza, the inaugural strawweight champion in the UFC, who fought with us down here in Florida at the XFC and everything, but did the Ultimate Fighter, and then finally, when she became a champion, she flew to New York City and she went to this restaurant and she bought an ice cream sundae that cost $1,000 because they shave and sprinkle real gold on the sundae. And she said that was a goal of hers. Like, I'm going to go eat that $1,000 sundae with gold shaving on it.
Oh wow.
When I achieve. So you know what? That's what you do. When you become a pro champion, I'll go with you in New York City and we'll fucking get that ice cream sundae. I just
Yes,
want to fight.
please.
You'll have to pay for your own sundae because I'm a broke old motherfucker. But we'll get a sponsor. We're gonna get a sponsor to buy us both sundaes. Fuck it.
Yes.
Do something like that is a big goal. I mean, I know she already did. So find something like that that is unique, and then that's when you. Naomi said, "No, what a waste." Hey, listen, it's not a waste if it's something that means something to you. If you set a goal for yourself and you say, "All right, you know what? I'm going to go a little crazy." Oh, she said, "You're going to Hawaii."
Shit, okay, I'm
said,
down for Hawaii.
All right, we'll go Hawaii. Fucking, we'll do a luau. Fucking hey, all right, I'm down wherever it is, girl. We just got to celebrate with no alcohol. We'll find all these cool things for you to do with no alcohol. So, but stay that path for real. Going back all the silly enough stuff. Just like I said, man, just stay this path, girl. Be that positive person that we've all grown to love. Keep inspiring others to do better. Like I said, this conversation, you continue to tell your story. It's going to inspire somebody. It's going to save somebody's life. Your story is going to save somebody's life. I fully believe that. My wife just said the sprinkles thing. Megan said it first. She goes, his wife said it first, LOL. I said, I don't even remember what happened. But my wife, thank God she's there. She remembers shit that I don't, which is weird because when I ask her something that I need to know, she never remembers, but she remembered that. That's fucked up, honey. We'll talk about that later. So one more fight and then go pro. This is definitely something. This is the plan. It's time to do this now. Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
She's out there laughing like a hyena right now because I called her out on the show. I can hear her. Going pro, getting paid to punch people in the face. It's a whole different world, man. Look at your smile.
I'm trying to get paid.
God damn right, you should get paid. Do you and your team have a path where you want to start as a pro? Is it going to be with Mitchell at Combat Night? Or is there another journey? Are you going to try to make the jump right to something like Invicta? What's the thought?
I'm not really sure. I think we're just gonna play it by ear, and whatever opportunity comes up, then we'll take it. As long as it benefits and works out, get some money. That's all I'm worried about.
Then we got to change the nickname to Taylor. I get paid to punch a bitch in the face. White. Bam.
Yeah, I like that.
Hey, that's a good nickname. Why not? I mean, everybody calls everybody bitch anyway, so why not just put in a nickname, get it out there, get paid on that shit, Again, I'm 52, so my generation is a little different than yours, but like everybody calls everybody bitch, and I still can't get over girls calling, going up to each other, go, yo, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Like when they're talking to their girlfriends, like, what does that even mean? It fucks me up. I don't know. I'm just old. Fuck it. But bro, let me tell you, bro. No, it doesn't work. I can't call you bro. It just don't work for me. I don't know, man. Do you call your girlfriends bro?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess because calling them sis, bro. I guess bro maybe because, yo, sis, what's up? Maybe you should start doing that. Fucking see what happens. They won't even respond. They'll be like, who should call sis? I thought I was bro. I thought I was bro. So besides the gym, I'm going to ask you this. I'm going to let you get out of here. Besides the gym and the training, obviously, and you've really recommitted. What are you doing as a release to have some fun and have some take time that's not involved in the before you answer that, your dad just said, "Get your ass to the gym, bro."
Yeah, I know.
I'm sorry, coach. I'm sorry. I'll finish up with her. I'll send her to the gym, bro. That was too funny.
I know.
But what are you doing for fun? I know you and your dad like a lot of times during fight camps. I always see you the day before a fight. You go to a movie. So
Mhm.
are you doing something besides that? Like where you just go out and do something fun that's away from fighting. Is it just the movies or is it anything else? Because that's the balance. You have to
Yeah.
have something a little different.
Um, Honestly, the gym is fun for me, so I
I
really
know.
like
I know.
I stay in the gym, but I think we're gonna go to the Springs this weekend and the whole team celebrate because our whole like Team Tiny, we all won
Yeah,
our fights for the
that's
past two
awesome.
months. So I think we're gonna go to the Springs, have some fun, and
Cool.
really I don't do anything but train. So,
There you
but
go.
it's fun for me. I like it. So
And go to the
yeah,
movies.
it's
You still go to the
basically it.
movies.
And I still go to the movies all the time. I saw Suicide Squad, horrible. Do not waste your money. Terrible,
Well, I got HBO Max, so I can just
terrible.
watch it. It's included for free. But I'm gonna have to watch, the first 15 minutes of it and see because that's usually I
Yeah,
watch a
you're
movie.
gonna
I'll
see.
give any movie 15 minutes of my time. But after 15 minutes, you better have me sucked in, or I'm fucking clicking out, or I'll walk out the theater. I'll drive away from the drive. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, it's
I
rough.
can't force myself to watch something shitty. Well, listen, um, thank you today for taking the time and telling the story and being real about it and not holding anything back. Like I said, it's important for you to cleanse yourself and to remind yourself, to stay your path. But your words will help somebody else. There's no doubt about it. And you know that's what we're here to always try to help our fellow human if we can.
Definitely.
So you just keep doing what you're doing. You're gonna be the star you always wanted to be. As long as you stay the path. Now you know how quickly that path can turn. So don't go down and it's good that you got it knocked out of the way. Now because as
Mhm.
your career continues to elevate, there's going to be people that are going to try to get you to fucking jump off the path. And have you go astray. Whether it be to drink or to party or to do drugs or dudes trying to take advantage of you, all that stuff. Fuck all that shit. You stay true to Taylor and you stay true to the beliefs that got you back to where you are today. The stuff that your dad and your family instilled in you and you always knew was right. And that's why your path never got too far off, just the booze, thank God. And thank God, you know,
Yeah,
knock
seriously.
on wood right there for real. Because it's, sometimes that's just the gateway to other shit. But luckily you slammed the gate on that other shit, when you fucking, it was offered. So I'm proud of you for that, for having enough sense to know. But
Thank
you
you.
just keep doing your thing, kid. You're a fucking star. You know what you want to be. You have a goal in mind. So just follow the path that you were on before, and you know just stay more focused on the path, and keep evolving. You're going to be, like I said, you've grown from a kid into a woman, and now you've got some shitty stories. Everybody's had to have some shitty stories. You didn't have any. Now you got yours. So you got that part of life out of the way. So no
Yeah.
more shitty stories from Taylor. The rest of it's going to be all like, fun and glorious and celebrating championships, and maybe one day, I don't know, fucking, 15 years from now, 12 years from now, maybe you'll find the right guy, maybe get married, maybe have a little tay-tay, little tay-tay-tay, a little junior tater tot, whatever it is, but right now, just focus on you. It's the most important thing you can do. You're at a point in your life where, um, you know, it's, you just saw it. You can get easily distracted at a young age, with stuff, and so don't. You've got such a bright future. Stay on the path, and everything you want to achieve. You didn't want to be average. All that stuff. It's all right there in front of you for you to make happen. Nobody will derail you from your path except for you. So always remember that.
Yes. Yes.
I know
Thank
you're
you,
getting a
Chris.
little emotional too, so am I, man.
And
It's okay.
uh,
Uh, No, listen. I don't care. Like I said, I don't care if I get emotional because I'll tell people how I feel, because they're important. And I want, sometimes, hearing it from outside your circle, I'm like near your circle, but I'm not in your circle. Your circle is, this. But I'm near the circle, I'll pop my head in once in a while and go, what's up, Yeah. But I care about you enough to be real with you and just tell you, man, just stay the path. Just do it right. You know you can. You know what you can achieve as an athlete. We already know that. Um, Now just continue the path and achieve everything in your life that you want as a woman, as a human, as a person, as as Taylor. That's it. Fucking be the next big thing. And you already are. You just did the next big thing. That was getting back to it. So now what's the next big thing? That pro fucking shot. And then the next big thing will be becoming a world champion. Then the next big thing will be buying me a car because you love me. Whatever. I do that shit to people. I slide stupid shit in like that all the time. But seriously, all the love to you. I'm so proud of you. And more important, I'm just so happy for you because you found yourself. You were lost and you found yourself and you found your way back. And you had the right people around that didn't judge you for what you did. That's the best part about it. You don't need to be judged. You're going to judge yourself harder than anybody anyway. And they didn't judge you. They just took you back in and they welcomed you with open arms. They gave you the love you needed and the confidence and support you needed to, get back to yourself. And, look at that. Like I said, now you're a champ, kid. It's fucking dope. You got gold. You got gold, bitches.
Yeah.
You can't see her. I'm a John Cena for you.
Very exciting.
So, is there anybody you want to shout out before we go? Give some love to. Take your time. I have all day to sit here with you. So, if you got a list that's like 30 minutes long, you do that shit.
There's so many people I can't even think of everyone, but just like you know who you are. Thank you for supporting me. My dad, Noemi, David, Melissa, Lou, Mitchell, like Tyler, Zach, all of you. I love you guys so much, and thank you for being part of my journey.
Oh, that's awesome.
And
to
thank
the
you,
girls,
Chris, for coming to see my fight.
I'm so glad I did. I would have been so mad at myself if I missed it. Knowing everything that happened with you. So I like I said, the universe woke me up out of bed that day and made me get up and go. So, and before you go, I want to play something for you. Whenever you're feeling shitty, okay, and whenever you're feeling bad and you're not feeling motivated, well, and I'll send you this clip and then you can keep it with you all the time. But this is something I saw one day on Facebook. This guy's an artist, musician. So this shit right here, whenever I'm feeling like funky and I need a little fucking pop, I literally get and I keep it on my phone. And I know it sounds stupid. You're gonna laugh when you see it, but this is the thing that gets me fucking sometimes going when I need a pop. You ready? Here it comes.
Get the fuck out of bed, bitch, go. Get up, and get the guy go. Time to wake up, bitch, get up. Get up, get up.
That's motivation right there. Oh my God! I saw that on Facebook one day. I'm watching it. Get the fuck out of bed, bitch! Go, and they just start fucking boom. I was like, that fucking got my blood pumping. So I literally clip the video. I write it on the show once in a while. I keep it on my phone because sometimes I'm in a mood. I just like, what's gonna get me popping, and that gets me popping every time. So, as far as like fuck yeah. But listen, you enjoy the rest of your day. If you need to cry some more, whether it's today or tomorrow and everything, because of all the stuff you went through, you let them tears out. Just don't do it in front of dad because dad said you did enough crying already. So, but get your ass to the gym, bro. That's your dad's message. I
know,
love you.
man.
I'm proud of you. I love you. I'm proud of you. Sorry I held her up, Dad, but this was a good time. I'm glad that we got to talk. Just stay true to you. Stay true to you, and you'll be fine, kid. You'll be fine because you know what's real, and you know what you need to do in here and up here. But in here is where it really counts. So do your thing. God bless you. Boys and girls, this is the XFN champion. Let me say that again. The XFN flyweight champion, Taylor, the next big thing, White. Recognize boys and girls because she's going places. Jump on the train.
Thank you.
Tay, we'll see you later, girl.
Bye. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, baby. That's Taylor White. She's awesome. I love that kid, man. She's been doing this. She was 9 years old, and she just, she experienced being a 21-year-old, a 20-year-old, and she, went out and partied too hard. You heard her say, basically, she became an alcoholic in a short period of time, and was depressed, wanted to train everything. If you guys out there, if you ever feel that way, message me. If you got a problem, I'll hit you up. There's plenty of people out there for you to talk to. Don't let it get out of control for yourselves, guys. All joking and fun stuff aside, don't let it get out of control. If you feel yourself going down a path, whether it's alcohol or drugs, talk to somebody. If you don't want to talk to your immediate circle, talk to me. Send me a message. I will, if you don't want to talk like this, you just want to chat back and forth, I'm there. Hit me up. I'll always try to help somebody that needs help that asks. So that's it. Thanks to both my guests today, David. I'm calling out his dad now. Christian Lohsen, Hollywood, debuting next weekend at PFL. Thanks to Taylor White, the new XFN flyweight champion. Thanks to you guys for tuning in and spending time with us this afternoon. I really do appreciate that you guys let me be a part of your lives today, and for you guys being a part of mine and allow me to be a part of yours. It means the world to me, man. It's right here in my heart. But that's it, boys and girls. We got to get out of here. So until next time, thank you so much. I will be back Thursday. Naomi Young, the strawweight champion XFN, is coming on, and I'm working on a couple other guests as well. But we'll be back then. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I am Christopher James. And you know it, guys. You all have been cage side. We will see you all next time. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.
What happens if you lose, Nick?
Who the hell's Aquaman?
I get Fruity Pebbles, Cocoa Pebbles, I get sausage biscuits. Maybe you guys will see a little footage of that later on because we got some good stuff.
Go with the deuces. There you go, baby.